There we go. We're recording as well. So thanks for your patience, guys. Appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. Okay, guys, my name is Eric Urrutia, and I'm with iManifold, which our parent company is NP Innovations out of Ellicottville, New York. And I reside in Phoenix, Arizona, so we got one heck of a time difference and everything else going. But we're going to go over the iManifold or iConnect application, starting from basically profiling the system all the way up to doing a report. So Dave, am I clear that these guys already know how to hook up the system as far as the pressures, the temperatures, and everything else?
Yeah, we went through it before. We haven't done anything in the field yet, but I just gave the guys an overview, just so you know what we talked about before the meeting. Show the guys the equipment, talk about how we have to, set up the probes, connect to the probes, how the equipment is attached to a unit. And then we also went through some video, some overview of the iConnect system. We looked at the AHRI video, the system profiling video, and a few other things. So we've got a pretty broad knowledge at the moment.
Okay, perfect.
So this is Carlos Urquidi. Do I need to have my webcam on, or you want me to turn it off?
No, turn it off.
Yeah, I think you're okay, Carlos.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, now I get a better screenshot of me gone.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay. So first off, what we're going to do, we're going to start off with just firing up the application and firing up the iManifold itself and go ahead and connecting to your manifold. Now that would be right up in here. You've already fired these things up, right, David?
Say again, sorry?
You've already fired them up, and they already know how to turn them on and all that, right?
No, not yet, not yet. They just saw the system for the first time before.
Okay.
So what we'll do, sometime next week, we're going to take each kit and bring each of the techs in individually, and we're going to connect up the probes.
Okay, so I mean, do I need to go through turning the things on and everything?
Just give us an overview, just give us a short overview of it. You don't need to go in depth. But
if I may interrupt for a second, I spoke to David, and his English skills seem to be pretty good. Are there any other guys, any other Spanish-speaking guys that are going to come on board to the session, or should David interrupt when he doesn't understand something? Because he seems to have a pretty good command of the English language.
Okay, ask the guys, is this okay at the moment? Or?
¿Ustedes quieren que él hable español o ustedes
No, no hablo español porque soy más de eso. Yo no entiendo español porque yo no estoy entendiendo.
Okay, español.
Español? Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, so Eric, you're going to have to give me a chance to take some pauses so I could talk to them in Spanish.
Okay.
Okay, and they need to interrupt me if I use some English terminology.
Okay.
Okay. So can the guys introduce themselves? The Spanish-speaking guys?
Que se introduzcan cada uno. Dile quién tú eres, quién tú eres, quién tú eres, quién tú eres.
Hola, mi nombre es Juan Carlos Santana. My name is Juan Carlos Santana.
Okay. Buenos días, Carlos. Yo me llamo Carlos también. Okay. ¿Quién más?
Yanni Estrada.
Daniel.
Yanni Estrada.
Okay.
Hola. Carlos San Juan.
Okay. Oh, okay. Tenemos tres Carlos. Okay, está bien. Okay. All right. Okay, Eric. Go ahead and start talking, and then pause, and then I could translate for the gentleman.
Okay. First off, on the manifold itself, power up the manifold, and then you're going to go up to your gear menu and connect to it.
Okay. Hang on a second. Okay. Primero van a conectar el iManifold con las mangueras en el sistema. Entonces van a ir a el gear, esta estrellita aquí, y la vas a apachurrar, ¿ok? ¿No hay preguntas?
No.
Okay,
Okay.
Go ahead, Eric.
And once connected, your measurements will show up on your screen.
Okay. Cuando se conectan las mangueras, van a ver las presiones en su teléfono.
Okay, now, first and foremost, we are going to profile the system.
Okay. La primera cosa que vamos a hacer es hacer un perfil del sistema.
So our bar menu in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to open it up and select Equipment Profiling.
Okay. El manual aquí, el menú, lo vas a apachurar aquí, entonces aquí van a tener estos sistemas aquí. Okay. Entonces van a ir al Quick Profiles. Go ahead, Eric.
Once we get into our profiles, we can either select from some of the profiles that we already have listed,
okay,
or we can manufacture a new profile.
Okay. Pueden escoger los sistemas que están ya puestos en el sistema, o pueden hacer un nuevo perfil del sistema que están usando.
Right now, we're going to go ahead and profile a new system.
Okay. Lo que vamos a hacer es vamos a poner is that data? Is that correct, Eric?
What's that?
Data? Is that correct? We're going to put new data.
Yeah.
So you know, it's all being
Correct.
recorded. It's all being recorded.
Okay. Right now, we're going to go ahead and the first question it's asking us is to select what refrigerant we're going to use.
La primera pregunta es ¿qué clase de refrigerante estamos usando?
Now we have 410A, which is a system that we've been using.
Okay. En este sistema vamos a usar el refrigerante 410.
Then we select what system type it is, whether it's an AC unit, a heat pump, or refrigeration. And in this situation, we are selecting air conditioning.
Okay. Entonces vamos a escoger qué clase de sistema es, aire acondicionado, heat pump o refrigeración. En este vamos a escoger aire acondicionado.
From there, we select our metering device, whether it's a regular TXV or a fixed orifice.
Okay. Lo que vamos a hacer es poner escoger qué clase de válvula el sistema está usando, standard, electrónico or fixed orifice.
Now we move down to what type of condenser it is. What is the SEER rating? We select from those 4 choices. In this, we're going to select the 13 SEER.
Okay. Entonces vamos a escoger qué clase de cómo el sistema, cómo el SEER, cómo está eficiente el sistema. Este sistema es de entre 13 y 16.
Now, on normal air conditioning, there is no head pressure control, so we just move on to our evaporator type, which will be a standard operating evaporator.
Okay. En aire acondicionado no hay sistema de alta presión. Vamos a escoger estándar.
Now, to our superheat subcooling. On air conditioning, it will determine the superheat, and we need to fill in the target subcooling according to the manufacturer's data code.
Okay, lo que vamos a escoger ahora es el sobre calor. y el sobrecalor es según según la marca que están usando. Okay, let me ask the gentleman a quick question, Eric, if you hang on for a second.
Sure.
Okay. Los Carlos, ¿entienden lo que es sobrecalor?
Sí.
Sí, ok. ¿Entienden la palabra superheat?
Sí.
Ok. Y sobrefriamiento, ¿lo entienden? ¿Entienden la palabra subcooled?
Subcooled, sí.
Okay. ¿Entienden cómo usar eso con equipaje regular, no con el Manifold?
Sí.
Sí, lo han usado. Okay. ¿Entienden la terminología saturada o saturated?
Sí. Sí.
Okay. Okay.
What's the question asking?
Okay, so I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to be a little bit efficient with our conversation. Eric, I was asking them if they understand sobrecalor. That means superheat in Spanish. And then sobreenfriamiento, which means subcooled. So I could say those words in English from now on, and they'll understand it. And I've asked them if they've used these without using an I-manifold, and they said they have used it. So I was just trying to get a base of where their knowledge is with day-to-day use. That way, I want to make sure that the communication is as effective as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Sorry for the interruption. I want to establish that base.
Okay. Now, on this, we can create a quick profile. Now, I know they use about 5 or 6 different Philco systems, so we can go ahead and create a quick profile.
Okay. En este sistema podemos hacer un perfil rápido.
Now we hit submit to put in the information, and it's asking us if we want to create that quick profile, and we select yes.
Okay. Aquí van a entrar basurar el submit, entonces van a preguntar el manual si es lo que quieres hacer. Entonces en este sí queremos hacerlo. So we do want to create a quick profile. Is that correct, Eric?
Correct.
Okay.
So now I'm just putting in the name.
Okay. Ahora vamos a poner el nombre de la marca del sistema. Por ejemplo, pues en este caso es Tempstar. Puede ser Carrier, Train o cualquier marca que están usando. Go ahead.
Okay, now as you can see, when we put in the profile, we see all of our targets and everything are all established.
Okay. Ahora, cuando ponemos el perfil, pueden ver todas las temperaturas y las presiones ya están entradas.
Now we move on to entering the information on the capacity of the system. So we go back to the bar menu up here, open it up, and go to measurement.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Ahora vamos a poner la capacidad del sistema. Vamos a aperturar el manual otra vez. Entonces vamos a entrar la capacidad del sistema en toneladas de refrigeración. Go ahead.
So now we go into measurements, open up our measurements.
Okay. Entonces vamos a pushar el measurements.
And we go into airflow and nominal tonnage to enter in our tonnage.
Okay. Entonces vamos a pushar el manual de aire y toneladas del sistema.
And that's right here, as you can see the pointer there, we've got a 3-ton system.
Okay. Y puede ver que, okay, puede ver que en las toneladas tonal del sistema es 3.
and we submit to put in that information.
Okay, entonces, apachurramos el submit, es que vamos a entrar a ese sistema.
Okay. Here. Now, as we go into our system, we are going to go ahead and produce a report. But as you can see on the screen, we have all of our pressures. Whoops. We have our pressures, our saturation temperatures, our superheat, subcooling.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay. Lo que vamos a hacer es vamos a poder hacer un reporte. Puedes ver que en los dos que está marcando las presiones, la temperatura y también la temperatura saturated temperatura. Eric, where's the saturated temperature? Can you point to it, please?
Saturation temperature is this 106.2, and the evap side saturation temperature is 39.0.
Okay, very good. Okay, en este caso, por 118 la temperatura satural es 39 grados. Entonces, en el sistema alto, la presión es 350, entonces la temperatura saturated es 106.
Okay, now as you can see, our target subcooling is actually 10, and we're showing 16.2 here. Well, the system that we're working on actually has a subcooling target of 15. So here's where we can actually...
Wait, slow down. Okay. So 16 is the actual, and 10 is the target.
Correct.
Okay. Lo que el subcool que queremos obtener es 10, pero lo que está ahorita es 16.
And see, as you can see, it brings the level of our subcooling to more normal. There's our target. There's our measured subcooling. So now we're in good shape here.
Okay. So lo que hizo Eric es cambió lo que debe ser el subcool a 15. Y lo que el sistema está marcando es 16. Y si pueden ver, can you point to the subcool bar, Eric, so I could show them? Can you just kind of wiggle it around there?
This is subcooling as it's being measured.
No, on the bar, the subcool bar, what's red. Up below.
Right
See where
here.
it says target? Yeah, okay, right there. Okay. ¿Pueden ver donde está marcando Eric la bolita blanca? Okay. Esa barra es una manera de ver dónde estás en el sistema. Por ejemplo, quieres obtener el subcool de 15, pero el sistema está marcando 16. Los puede ver los números, pero este sistema tiene esta barrita que marca SC, y entonces esa barrita te ayuda a ver dónde estás.
Okay. So now, the two arrows over here, you can scroll across the bottom to get all of our measurements.
Okay.
Now we could either tap the button and go across, or we can swipe it.
Okay. Estas dos marcas abajo de, pueden ver los números 119, 14.5, 15 y 342. Esos se pueden arrastrar, entonces puede ver los otros números. Go ahead and drag it, Eric, please. push the arrows or drag it. There you go. Okay. Ahora, cuando se arrastrar, puede ver más información de los números. Por ejemplo, ahora puede ver la temperatura de succión, que es 50. La temperatura de la línea del líquido es 90. La temperatura del refrigerante saliendo del compresor es 170. Y entonces el aire de afuera es 85. Así que por arrastrando en esta barra, estas temperaturas pueden ver más información. Can you go ahead and drag it one more time, please? Okay.
So this has got our airside measurement.
Okay, entonces también con los probes pueden ver la temperatura del aire regresando, el aire que está entrando al cuarto. Eric, let me pause for a second, see if they have any questions, if there's something that, okay. No hay preguntas, por favor. Mi español no es perfecto, pero están entendiendo, porque quiero estar seguro que están entendiendo.
75 es la temperatura que debe estar en la salida a las habitaciones.
Sí, a 75 es la temperatura del aire en el aire en el conducto de aire regresando al sistema. Regresando. Ajá. Y entonces el 72.4 es la temperatura del aire del wet bulb.
Ahora sí.
¿Ok?
Por lógico.
Carlos,
Yes.
if you and Eric could take us sort of through like one, segment there, like where you got the airside temperatures now, can you just take us through those, 4 or 5 group of numbers?
I already did with the guys when they asked me the question. I already went through that with them, but we're welcome to do it again. Sorry, Eric, I got a little bit ahead of myself.
Are you talking about the nomenclature here?
Yes, I've already explained that that's the return air dry bulb and the return air wet bulb, and then the supply air dry bulb and supply air wet bulb.
And then go to the next one.
Yeah, and those are with the probes.
Yeah. Go to the next one there, please, Eric.
Right here to the active temperatures?
Yeah. No, back again. Okay. Can you go through with the guys on that, please, Carlos? Just make sure that they're...
Okay. What that is...
Okay.
La
temperatura de 50 es de la temperatura de succión. Es la temperatura que está entrando al compresor. Okay, I was explaining the suction line temperature.
Okay, well this right here on the performance, I was going to get to that afterwards because we need to put in our electrical measurements to get that.
Okay.
So active temperatures, the suction line temperature, liquid line temp, discharge line temp, and outdoor air temperature, those are being measured live with the probes.
Okay.
Carlos,
yes, okay. Estas temperaturas 50 es la temperatura de la línea succión. Okay, es la temperatura del refrigerante entrando al compresor. 90 es la temperatura del refrigerante cuando está saliendo al edificio. 170 es la temperatura del refrigerante saliendo del compresor. Entonces 85 es la temperatura del afuera.
Okay. Now we're going to go into a project so that we can record all this information. So we're going to go in here to our 3-bar menu in the upper left-hand corner.
Okay, hang on. Okay, ahora lo que vamos a hacer es vamos a entrar a poner números para el performance del sistema. Vamos a ir al manual, el menú otra vez. En la parte más arriba hay proyectos y reportaje. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is where we're going to start up a new project. You're going to select a new project.
Okay. Aquí es donde vamos a poner proyecto nuevo. Entonces,
we're going to make new.
Okay. Vamos a hacer nuevo.
And now we're going to put in our project ID. Now the identification on here, we need to know basically a customer name or something, because this is going to be the one that they're going to search for by.
Okay, aquí en el ID vamos a poner el nombre del sistema. El sistema puede ser el nombre del edificio, dónde está el número del sistema, según como ustedes usan para identificar sus sistemas.
So, Eric, a question for you on now. The project ID and the project job number. Is the project ID, does that stay the same all the time? This is not related to their particular visit, is it? Isn't it related to the particular place, property?
Correct, because we are going to be able to, this is like a test location. This could be a name of a property, okay?
If I may interject.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I think I know where David's getting at, because these are maintenance AC guys, so they're not going to be driving around all town to different systems. So maybe, David, I'm not sure how you guys have inventory your system. You may have building north system 3. Is that something that you guys use? Is that correct?
No. What we're going to be doing, Carlos, is we do actually drive all around town. We're a property management company. So for the project ID, we would have our property ID, which would be like 123 NWA, something like that. So our project ID relates to a particular unit, because it can be multifamily, where we have several units, or just a single property. So we'll use our unit ID there. Now, the project job number, does that, once we've created this project ID, I'm a little bit confused with project job number. If we have project job number 1, when we go back to this property ID, this property again, is that project job number 2?
You don't have to use project job number at all.
Okay.
That may be for a service guy that's working and running around town, not necessarily for a property management group like yourself. Is that correct, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me talk to the guys real quick. Okay. Ahora lo que vamos a poner es vamos a hacer identificación del sistema. Vamos a poner dónde está este sistema según lo que usan ahí en tu trabajo. No sé si tienen nombre por cada sistema, pero lo vamos a poner. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So now we can select what type of service we're doing. We can select equipment service, new install, retro, or preventive maintenance. We're just going to say that this is a preventive maintenance right now.
Okay, hang on. Leave that menu open one more time. Okay, click on it one more time so they can see it. Okay, ahora lo que vamos a hacer es, ¿qué clase de trabajo vamos a hacer? Servicio, instalación nuevo, retro commission. Retro commission es que cambiamos algo del sistema, lo vamos a chequear otra vez. preventive, o vamos a hacer mantenimiento, cambiar, para que no se descompone. Go ahead.
Okay. So we'll select, preventive maintenance, and then we hit submit.
Entonces vamos a entrar.
Now, as you can see, the project information is there, and the system profile is already put there. So now it's a matter of customer information.
All right, hang on. Okay. Lo que pueden ver es que lo que está en verde. Okay, can you go back one screen, please? You're a little ahead of me. Okay. Ahora lo que pueden ver es que lo que está en verde ya es que está, toda la información está completa. Ya pusimos la información del proyecto, ya pusimos la información del sistema. Okay. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay. So now we're going to enter in our customer information.
Okay. Ahora lo que vamos a hacer es poner la información del customer. Right? If I may interrupt again, David Cruz.
Yeah.
The customer is always going to be that you guys, right? So, I mean, how would they enter that? I'm trying to speak to a target audience.
We'd mostly leave that blank.
Okay.
Leave that, we wouldn't fill that information in unless we have. Is that a required field or?
No, it's not.
Okay. So this is just a database for like a typical air conditioning maintenance service group, right?
Okay. Exactly.
Correct.
All right, let me explain that to the guys. Okay. La información del customer no es necesario por lo que ustedes están este menú más bien son para los que están arreglando sistemas por una compañía privada, están yendo a diferentes edificios o escuelas o hospitales y poniendo información para el futuro. Pero ustedes en no tienen que ponerlo porque vamos a enseñar cómo ponerlo. Go ahead.
Okay. So now we can geotag the address as to what property we're at just by selecting geotag the address. And this utilizes Google Maps.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Lo que pueden hacer si, por ejemplo, quieren usar poner sistema, pueden poner la dirección del edificio. Entonces, en los mapas pueden enseñar dónde está exactamente usando el Google Maps.
Okay, so we see that the arrow this is actually my house, and I'll make sure that is the correct address, and then we say use address.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, esta dirección es la dirección de Eric, y pueden ver la casa de Eric, está usando su dirección de él para información.
Okay, so this is going to populate everything here, and then we're going to go ahead and hit submit.
Okay,
Electric utility information populates automatically, Eric?
Yes, correct. As you can see right here, the location and the electric utility information does populate automatically.
Well, that's very nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay, look, por poniendo la dirección, entra también la computadora va a obtener información del clima. Por ejemplo, puede ver que Eric vive en Arizona. El clima es número 2. Entonces también tiene lo que cuesta la electricidad, cuánto electricidad usa. Esta es una casa, puede ser diferente por una propiedad comercial. So Eric, I interjected that this is for a residential use. The commercial may be a little bit different.
Not really.
Okay.
So right here from this screen, then we're going to use our back button up here to get back into our reporting.
Okay. Va a regresar al menú. Entonces puedes ver que ahora la información del customer ahora está verde, es diciendo que ya está completo.
Okay, now we're going to put in our equipment information, and this is where we're going to use the HRI database, David.
Yeah.
Okay. Ahora vamos a poner la información del equipaje.
Okay, so on this, we can either enter it in manually by going through all the information here, or we can use the AHRI certificate. So
Okay,
if we
hang
use
on.
Okay.
Hang on. Okay. Podemos entrar en la información del sistema manual o podemos escoger. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
Okay, we're going to be using the HRI certificate. So we select that, and right here we can put our HRI number in here.
Okay. O más fácil podemos usar el AHRI certificado. Where do they get that number from, Eric?
That is. Yeah, David has those numbers already.
Okay. Estos números, David puede darte estos números.
Now this number that I put in, I just pulled one up real quick, and we're going to use the search right here.
Okay, pones el nombre, entonces pones poner search.
Uh-oh. I'm logged in. I think I am.
You got the right number there, Eric?
Might not be.
Oh,
I don't know why I'm not going here. Let me just try this other one real fast.
Okay.
The one that we have in the system here. 594 7339. I don't know why it's not going. I'm not sure why this is not going properly right now. It may be because I'm tagged into my computer.
Okay. Well, it would be nice to see a number go in, but we understand the AHRI numbers, so.
Okay, so let me explain that real quick. Okay, cuando ustedes obtienen el número, el AHRI número con David, pones el nombre en esa línea. Cuando pones los números, entonces con esos números, entonces de ahí la computadora obtiene todos los datos de ese sistema y no tienes que entrarlos manual. Es mucho más fácil. So Eric, what I told them is that once you put in that AHRI certificate number, then it's going to populate the system. Correct? Yes. Okay, and that way it just makes it much easier to rather than do it manually.
Now, here's where we can label the equipment identification. Okay, this is where we can search for it and find it. So we got equipment name and ID here. We can put a name in here, unit 456 north.
Aquí en este equipaje nombre pueden poner el nombre del sistema que están trabajando en. Por ejemplo, aquí pusieron el 456 norte.
Okay, now we can geotag the equipment exactly where it is on the building with Google Maps again.
Okay. Ahora podemos ver exactamente dónde está ese equipaje con el Google Maps.
This can be zoomed in.
Okay. Entonces se puede ver exactamente dónde está el sistema. Can Eric?
Wherever this is, you can move this around.
All right. Can you elaborate a little bit on the benefit of doing this? They may not, just from your point of view.
Well, that way if you have 30 units on a roof, you can actually pinpoint exactly which one, so you know exactly what unit it actually is.
Okay. Okay. Esto ayuda cuando uno está tratando de buscar los sistemas en el techo, porque a veces uno no puede buscarlo, entonces poniendo los números uno puede ver exactamente dónde está este sistema. Así que el iManifold te ayuda viendo las presiones cargando el sistema con refrigerante, pero también te ayuda a locar dónde está el sistema también. Okay. Eric, let me take a little pause, see if the gentlemen have some questions.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. No hay preguntas, por favor. Si estoy hablando muy rápido o hay ¿todo está bien?
Yo quiero saber una pregunta. Lo que puso arriba el cliente ahí, ¿se pone el número de la casa? Es lo que...
Sí, no, lo que puso es que ya tenemos la dirección de la casa.
Okay.
Por ejemplo, si esta casa tiene 4 sistemas, podemos poner una identificación por cada sistema. Por ejemplo, si tiene tiene un sistema en el norte parte de la casa, en el sur parte de la casa, en el oeste, podemos identificar dónde está el sistema exactamente. Y eso te
Uno, dos, tres, a veces. Pero siempre tiene que ser.
Ok, gracias.
Ok, no hay otras preguntas.
All good?
No? We're good, David Rodriguez?
Yeah, David, good.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna go ahead.
Are the guys doing okay? They're understanding? No questions?
No.
Okay. All right. I just
Okay, so we're
wanted.
gonna save this location.
Okay.
Location save.
Ahora, okay. Ahora vamos a borrar este local.
We can also take equipment photos if we want and put notes in here about the equipment.
Oh, okay. También podemos tomar fotos del sistema que estamos trabajando y también podemos poner notas. Esto ayuda mucho cuando, por ejemplo, si Esteban estaba trabajando en este sistema, entonces Juan ahora está trabajando en el sistema, él puede ver lo que Esteban hizo antes o si hay unos problemas que pueden ser anticipados. So Eric, let me tell you what I just told them. I told him that, for example, if Steve is working on the system, he could take pictures and notes. And so let's say, Johnny comes down a few months later. He can look at those notes and those pictures, and that's just going to help him be more efficient with his whatever needs to be fixed.
Exactly.
Because Steve may see that, okay, well, the belt may have some life, but maybe it's going to need to be changed the next time. That type of information.
Okay. So on this, we can hit the configuration, if it's a split type system or a package system.
Ok, ahora podemos escoger qué clase de sistema es split or is package.
Now, most of those are going to be split, so all this information right here, the line set length, I mean, that's not necessary. It does need to put in nominal tonnage and use decimal points and do not put in BTUs for tonnage.
Okay. Okay, ahora vamos a poner información de este sistema. Podemos poner qué tan largo es la línea, pues no es necesario. Pero toneladas, tenemos que poner números redondos. So we can put 2.5, is that the way we put it? For 2.5?
Put the 2.5 tons, 2.5.
Okay.
Okay, so when you use the HRI, the nominal tonnage will already be there, and so will the airflow and the capacity.
Cuando estamos usando el sistema de AHRI, cuando ponemos las toneladas, nos va a dar la cantidad de aire que está más bien el sistema está pushando.
So Eric, the static air pressure, the static pressure doesn't come in from the AHRI, no?
No, it does not, because they don't measure static pressure at AHRI.
Okay, what should we use for that? Is it 0.5 or?
As far as the TSP, I'd measure it.
Okay, so that's taking the actual measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a rated TSP on the system itself, and that's on the data plate.
That's on the data sheet?
That should be on the data plate, yes.
Los datos se pueden coger con la placa que está en el sistema.
Now the blower motor type, this is information you can or what put in.
Por eso ahora. Una pregunta. Dijo ahí la que pone el número de 2.5.
Ahora
¿Qué
vamos
2.5 pone así? Ahí lo dije porque lo tengo que ser no significa.
Yo creo que no es 3.5, gente. Es un 1.5 es 12 toneladas, fuerza de QBQ.
No, está caliente, no le digo esto.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
No hay preguntas, no hay preguntas.
Sí, una preguntita. Eso que cuando se pone el tonelaje, que dijiste el número redondo, si es un 2.5, se pone el 2.5 o se lleva 3.
No, sí, disculpa, ese era mi error. Sí, si es media tonelada van a poner 0.5. Disculpa. Okay.
Okay.
Si es 3.5 van a poner 3.5. Disculpa.
Okay, gracias.
Okay. Go ahead,
Okay,
Eric.
now when we're going in here to the number of circuits, the phase, nominal voltage, and all that, that is information that if David wants that put in, they put it in. It's optional.
Okay. Esta información del condensador, la clase de electricidad, esa información es información si David quiere poner. ¿Lo puedo poner o no tiene que ponerlo? Es según lo que quiere hacer David, pero puede poner esa información.
If we have the AHRI number, is that going to populate automatically, that information?
No, these three will not, but the manufacturer that will,
Yeah.
that'll go right in here to Philco, and also model number will already be in there as well.
Okay.
Ahora lo que está haciendo Eric es escogió la marca del sistema. Ahora está poniendo el número, el model number del sistema. Y eso lo pueden coger con la placa del sistema.
Serial number they're going to have to enter in manually.
Okay. El número serial van a tener que poner manualmente. Eso no va a ser automáticamente.
There's a space here to put a comment in regarding the compressor. If it's running noisy or non-operational, you can put notes in there.
Okay, pueden poner notas del compresor si está haciendo mucho ruido o está vibrando mucho, pueden poner notas ahí. Así que pueden ver que estos datos van a ser muy importantes y lo pueden usar para los técnicos en el futuro para ayudar para arreglar el sistema. Okay, so Eric, I just re-emphasize that all this information that they're putting in is going to be very beneficial for any future technician when it comes to the system.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I just want to keep, so they know that we're not just barking up a tree, you know, this is going to be help them to be more efficient, and it's just going to make their jobs easier.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Poniendo estos números, no más te va a ayudar a arreglar el sistema, pero también va a ayudar a hacer tu trabajo más fácil. Así que usen esta información, porque esta información es información que va a ayudar a tu compañero, o más bien puede ayudar a ti mismo. Si tú estás trabajando en este sistema hace 3-4 meses, pues te vas a olvidar lo que hiciste en ese sistema. Poniendo esta información te va a ayudar a acordar, puedes acordar, ok, yo sé dónde tengo que ir para ayudar a arreglar el sistema. So I just basically told them that this not only helps their co-workers, it also helps them 4 months down the road when they go back to the same system, they can read their own notes, and that's just going to make their job easier and more efficient.
Absolutely. And so, you know, just let them know that this information goes down for each piece that you have.
Okay. Okay. Esta información es por cada sistema, cada equipaje que estás trabajando. Y nomás lo puedes entrar una vez, entonces ya no tienes que entrar, pero si hay notaje nuevo, entonces eso lo vas a tener que cambiar. Pero yo sé que va a tomar tiempo para hacer esto, pero en el futuro va a hacer tu trabajo más fácil. So what I told them is that yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it's going to pay off dividends in the future as far as making your job easier.
Correct. Now I'm just putting in the
barcode available, Eric?
What's that?
Is the scanning of the barcode available yet?
See, it depends on the manufacturer. We can't get everybody to read the same barcode because barcodes are basically numbers and letters, and a lot of manufacturers, they decide to put a code into their barcode, and rather than publishing a model number or serial number, they put in JB123 as this long barcode that should have been the model number.
Okay. So let's put it in manually.
Would you like me to translate that?
No, we're fine, we're fine. But basically what we're going to do anyway, we've got somebody who's going to go ahead of the technicians before they get to a unit and collect all this information, and we're going to upload it into iConnect anyway. So when they get there, all the project and system information is going to be in there.
Okay.
Okay, ahora lo que están viendo es que ahora ya hay, ahora está verde. Eso está diciendo que ya la información ya está imponido en el sistema. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so after all that information is put in, everything's green, and it says sync with cloud. We do not need to sync with cloud right now because we're going to be doing that very shortly.
Okay. Lo que está en rojo es sync con cloud. Eso no lo vamos a usar, lo vamos a usar en un momento.
Okay, now we're going to go into testing and performance.
Ahora vamos a entrar en el menú probando y performación.
Okay, this is where we are going to put in our electrical measurements. When we see view and input measurements, we're going to select this bar.
Okay, aquí vamos a poner la información del voltaje, de la electricidad que estamos obteniendo con equipaje que estamos usando.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up the electrical bar here.
Okay, vamos a entrar en la electricidad.
Now, David, did you get redfish meters?
Yeah.
Have you messed with those yet?
Have I what, sorry?
Have you played around with those to get them working and everything?
Yeah. I kept it via Bluetooth and put the verified readings in on the voltage and the amps.
Okay.
So it's a little bit tricky. Remember that I told you about the video? The video online is a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got it.
Okay, so we got our voltage and amperage, and once everything gets input in here, whether you use the meter or you manually put it in, we hit submit.
Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
Hang on, Eric, real quick. There is, you could enter it manually, but there's also probes and stuff that will do it automatically. That will just input them.
They have that multimeter. They have that redfish meter.
Okay, so that redfish meter will populate the inputs.
Yes.
Okay.
Carlos, did they already know that? We've already spoke about that, so we're good on that.
Do you want me to translate that to them?
No, it's fine because we spoke about the redfish meter earlier and explained it, and the next stage is then to go out in the field and show them how to use it. So they're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all submitted there.
Okay.
Now we can take a look at what the system is doing by looking at view performance. Now this will give us all the information as to what the system is doing right now at this moment.
Okay. Ahora vamos a ver cómo el sistema está operando. Y esto da toda la información de la cantidad de aire por tonelada que está usando, la cantidad de aire, la presión del aire en el conducto de aire. Go ahead.
Okay, now we can go back into our system here, and depending upon what we're doing, we can capture the measurements in. In other words, when the system is broken or that we just do the initial test before repair, we take a snapshot of the measurements in.
Okay. Si ustedes pueden ver en el capturar measurements in, eso va a ser como una foto de lo que está pasando antes que haces el sistema. Entonces, cuando ves el capture measurements out, eso va a ser como una foto de cómo está el sistema trabajando después que hicieron reparación o ajustes en el sistema.
Okay.
Antes de hacerle nada al equipo, nada más llegamos y hacemos eso. Es lo que dice.
¿Otra vez?
llegamos y lo primero que hacemos después que llenamos estos datos es hacer esa foto y después al que arreglemos el equipo hacemos otra, ¿no?
Sí, exacto. Cuando llegas al sistema, vas a poner la información de cómo está trabajando el sistema. Por ejemplo, si el sistema falta refrigerante, el sistema no va a estar trabajando bien. Cuando pones refrigerante, entonces el sistema va a trabajar mejor después. Y eso va a ser un documento de trabajo que hiciste, entonces también va a ser un documento de cómo está el sistema trabajando mejor.
Está bien, correcto.
Are we good?
Yeah, so Eric, what I told them is, I just gave an example. I said that, for example, you arrive at the system, and let's say you're low on refrigerant. So you add, so you take a snapshot, a picture of, if you will, a data picture of how it's performing when you first arrive at the system, and then after you add refrigerant, of course, the system is going to be working better, and then they'll take like a photo data of how it's working after.
Okay, that's what I'm doing right now. I just overcharged the system. So we're going to look at the manifold again. I'm going to show you what I just did.
Okay. Lo que Eric acabó de hacer es entró el refrigerante demasiado. Lo hizo adrede. Puso más refrigerante que debe ponerse. Y ahora podemos ver cómo está trabajando el sistema, porque todos sabemos que mucho refrigerante no es bueno. Tiene que ser exactamente lo que el sistema está usando.
Okay, we got that. So now I can go back into my project, and I'm actually going to override this measurement, and I'm going to take a picture of it that it was overcharged. Okay?
Okay. Ahora lo que está haciendo es, está suponiendo que acaba de llegar a este sistema y el sistema tiene muchos refrigerantes. Okay, así que, go ahead.
Okay, now we're going to go in and we're going to fix this real quick.
Okay. Ahora lo que vamos a hacer es vamos a arreglar el problema que hizo Eric. Okay.
Now we can take a measurement out after we fix the overcharge.
Let's look at the things. Oh, okay. All right. Just want to look at the app.
Okay.
Okay.
What was that, David?
That's fine. We just wanted to see what the that change. It went back. It would have gone back to the desired settings.
Yeah. So now we're going to go into a report.
Okay.
Ahora vamos a ir a reportes.
So on our report, we've got selections here. I'm putting in a mechanical checklist. We can do a combustion analysis. Now, I know you guys aren't doing combustion analysis, are you, Dave?
No.
Okay. And then you can add photos and comments. So right now we're going to take a look at a mechanical checklist.
Okay, ahora vamos a hacer una lista de problemas mecánicos.
Now remember, all this information is if you want to put in. David, if you want these things to be put in, all these fields do not have to be gone through. Mind you that.
Okay. Toda esta información no es necesario en poner. Esto nomás es si quieres poner más información.
You show us what each looks like, Eric. So thermostat is what? Okay, so it's like a checklist basically, isn't it?
Exactly, and it works on a tap system. So if we tap it once, like I'm going to tap right here, secured to wall. If I tap it once, it goes green and said yes. If I tap it again, it said kind of. If I tap it a third time, it needs attention now.
Okay, let me relay that information. Okay, esta lista es para ayudarte de chequear todo lo que es necesario de chequear. Así que muchas veces uno va a un sistema y dijo, ok, tengo que chequear el voltaje, tengo que chequear el capacitor. Esta es una lista para ayudarte a ver qué es lo que tienes que chequear. Y para los colores, verde es diciendo que sí, ok, ya lo chequeé, todo está bien. What's the yellow for?
That means that it needs some attention, not detrimental, and red means it needs attention now.
Okay, así que el verde es que lo chequeamos, todo está bien. El amarillo es que tenemos que ver eso, pero no es urgente, pero en un tiempo vamos a tener que verlo. El rojo es que tenemos que tomar atención inmediatamente, no podemos esperar, es algo que tenemos que arreglar pronto.
Okay, now it's going to go through the same thing with the filter and the condensate drain, so it's just a information basis, you know, and they can just go through and select and put in their inputs, okay?
Así que esta lista, puedes ver que can you slow down just a little bit on your menu?
Sure, I'm just filling in some areas.
Okay, yeah, back up a little bit so I could walk through it. Okay, si después, déjame empezar de nuevo. Pueden ver que estos, este menú tiene muchas cosas que tienes que hacer en mantenimiento regular. Y, por ejemplo, tienes que limpiar los filtros, tienes que cambiar los filtros, tienes que ver la puerta de los filtros si está segura o si está quebrada. Por eso está en amarillo, por ejemplo, si está quebrada pero trabaja, está bien. Can you scroll a little bit up, Eric?
Sure.
Okay. Entonces, por ejemplo, también tiene que los bearings, si están haciendo ruido o están bien, si necesita aceite en el motor, todo esto es para ayudar a ustedes con tu trabajo. Okay.
Okay. So going down through all these, you know, same thing all the way down. Once you're done with the mechanical checklist, just hit submit.
Y cuando acaban, más entre submit.
And you'll see that we've got a mechanical checklist added in there.
Okay. Ahora pueden ver que la lista mecánica está en verde, diciendo que ya entramos en formación. Eric, is there a date that they could put on this mechanical checklist somewhere?
When you produce the report, it automatically date and timestamps it.
Okay, I'm going to relay that to them. Okay. Okay. Esta lista también puede ser un reporte que tiene el día, así que eso también puede ayudar a ustedes de, okay, este día, esto es lo que está pasando con este sistema. All right.
All right, so they can add in, if they're doing a furnace check, which I don't think they are, but we can put in photos and comments. So if they want to take pictures of the job or anything like that, they can add in the photos and comments. So they can put a note in on it and then add pictures if they want.
Okay. Aquí pueden poner notas, entonces también pueden poner fotos. can you explain how they'll import the photo into this database?
Yeah, I'm taking my tablet out right now, so.
Okay, pueden poner notas. Ahorita Eric les va a enseñar cómo tomar una foto y poner la foto en el sistema.
Okay. So with this, we can put in a comment here that the system is good. Put in whatever, and you can add a photo. So
ahora vamos a poner que el sistema está bueno.
There's the side of my office. How do you like that?
Nice looking office, mate.
So we go over there and we select that picture, and that picture is set. Now you can title that picture, and there's a bunch of titles available.
Okay. Puedes, okay, después que tomas el foto, puedes poner un título de esa foto. Are you restricted to the titles that are there?
No, you can put other in there.
Okay. Puedes escoger los títulos que están allí, o puedes escoger un título que tú escoges. En esos other. Entonces puedes poner tu título. Aquí está poniendo mi oficina.
And you can put a description in there. About the wall, whatever you want to put in there. You can put in the description, and you can put in like 20 photos.
Yeah. So a question for you, Eric. Going back to that mechanical checklist, can we make that customizable? You know, we might just want to say, you know, did we check the condensate line and I don't know, the batteries and the thermostat? Can we just have it those two checklists?
Yeah, you can put in whatever information you want. You don't have to go all the way down the line. You don't even have to put, you can go to one thing and one thing only.
Okay. But it's not customizable where we can say show this and don't show that. It's going to show it all, but we just say, okay, only fill in this information.
No, it's not going to show everything. Only the information that you input is what's going to show on the report.
Oh, on the report. Okay, cool, cool. Okay, good.
And you said you can put up to 20 pictures on this?
Oh, yeah, at least. I haven't even gone through all of them.
Okay. Okay. En este pueden poner hasta 20 fotos.
Okay.
So now we're submitted in here. We have our photos and comments. We have everything. Now, David, which report were you looking at the most?
I haven't really looked at any of the reports yet. I was just sort of, you know, working with the system, you know, sort of physically as far as, you know, pairing up the probes. What's that term? Is that the correct term, pairing up the probes, or?
Is there what now?
The probes, but when you marry the probes to the iConnect, what's the term for that used? Are you pairing them up, or are you mapping them? You're mapping the probes, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was basically sort of mapping the probes, connecting it to the system, using the redfish meter. I didn't really get around to running any of the reports yet. So which, obviously we're not going to be interested in equipment replacement,
I would
savings, but not as the customer-facing reports, you know?
Yeah. I think you'd be more inclined to the Pro report and the standard iManifold. I'm going to show you both of these.
Okay.
And the mechanical checklist. Now, the iManifold report, this one up here, this is the one, when you save it, this is the one that goes into the cloud, okay?
Which one's that?
That is this one, the iManifold report.
And what's the difference between that, the regular and the Pro?
I'm going to show you that right now. We're going to go ahead and do an iManifold report. And as you can see, we can select measurements in or measurements out. We're going to take measurements in. You can hide the system performance, but I wouldn't know why you would want to do that. And then you email the report to save it to cloud.
Let me clarification. Measurements in is measurements when you first arrive at the unit, or measurements. Is that correct?
Or after it's been fixed or adjusted.
Then measurements out is after you fix the unit.
Yep, fixed it or adjusted it.
Okay. Okay. So measurements in es la información que se obtiene cuando cuando empiezas a arreglar el sistema, y measurements out es cuando ya acabas de arreglar el sistema o hacer mantenimiento. Okay.
So now we're going to email this report and save it.
Okay. Ahora vamos a mandar un email y también podemos guardar esta información.
On the app, when you registered, the email that you registered with is your default email. There's always going to be a report going to that particular email.
Okay.
El email que usaron para registrar en el iManifold es donde va a ir esta información.
Got it?
Now, the guys, each of the technicians have to have their own individual email address, don't they?
No, they don't.
Oh, no, they can all use the same email address?
Well, you see on your cloud that your administration, there's always going to be the default that sends all the reports to one email address, which you program. But each of the individual guys are going to have their own identification, so you know who's using what manifold.
Yeah, okay.
You want me to translate that?
No, no, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we can add emails as well. If you want to send it to somebody else to take a look at, we add email.
Okay.
So this one we're going to go David Cruz.
Ok, este sistema también puedes mandar un email a alguien más, no nomás lo que tú escoges. Es lo que está haciendo ahorita Eric, mandando información a alguien más.
So we're going to select that one, and we are going to send the report and save it.
Entonces vamos a mandar el reporte y guardarlo.
That's why it's not, I wasn't logged in here, that's why.
Que no se puede mandar reporte porque no estaba logged in.
Okay. So once it's sent over, it's going to save it to cloud, and then we can also generate the report. This is what the report looks like.
Okay, después que mandamos el email, podemos ver el reporte y lo que está enseñando Eric es cómo el reporte, cómo se ve el reporte que acabaste de mandar.
Now, David, the pro report. We go back in here to our
Let me ask you a question. Why didn't it come up as verified there?
Repeat that, please.
Why didn't the readings come up as verified?
Because we're not hooked to a live system.
Okay, so you just got your
verified as if it's measuring it from the tool.
Okay.
So now looking at a pro report, I think this is the one that you're more inclined to taking a look at. If we take our measurements in, and there's going to be the map of equipment, There's the office photo. Everything's going to be included in there. So I'm going to generate that report. And we're going to say property 10. And there's our report here.
Este es el reporte profesional y aquí está enseñando más información.
Solamente ese reporte uno lo puede ver después que envió el correo.
Otra vez, por favor.
Sí, para ver ese reporte uno tiene que enviar el correo primero o lo puede ver antes de enviar el correo.
Okay, déjame preguntar, Eric. Okay, so Eric, a technician could look at this report before he even starts working on the system. It's archived, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sí, este reporte se puede ver antes de trabajar en el sistema. Por ejemplo, si Esteban o Juan estaban trabajando en este sistema, tú puedes ver qué reporte Juan hizo, entonces esto te puede ayudarte.
Sí, yo me refiero al reporte mío, al que yo voy a enviar, si lo puedo ver antes de mandar el email.
Okay, ahora entiendo. Okay, déjame preguntar, Eric. Okay, Eric, before he emails it, is he able to look at the report?
Yes. When he does a pro report, this has not been emailed yet. The only one that emails at that time, see right here, when you do this one, you have to export it.
Okay. Te pregunta es si puedes ver el reporte antes que lo mandes al email.
Correcto.
Okay. Sí, yo entiendo. Sí, esa es buena pregunta porque uno quiere ver, está seguro que arreglaste todo lo que tienes que arreglar, ¿verdad?
Que no hay un error.
¿Ah?
Que no haya un error, por eso.
De todas formas, si hacer la máquina te va a decir que hay un error.
Error diferente, otro tipo de error.
Eric, do you guys have a report? Do you guys have a report that shows both the measurements in and the measurements out side by side?
This one will do it right here.
Which one's that?
I selected both measurements in and measurements out.
Okay, so it's not one or the other, so you can select measurements in and measurements out.
Yep.
Okay.
Can you summarize again the difference between measurement in and measurement out again one more time?
You see right here, measurements in, measurements out.
Measurements in means that this is before you service the equipment. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then measurements out is after you service the equipment.
Correct.
And you could generate reports at both times.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, let me explain that to them. Okay. Reports. Can you go back to that menu, measurements in, measurements out?
Right there.
Okay. Así que ustedes cuando ven en la, can you point to the measurements in, please? Okay. Pueden ver la bolita blanca. Measurements in es la información que obtienes antes de reparación o mantenimiento del sistema. Entonces, measurements out es después que arreglases el sistema o hiciste mantenimiento. Y esos reportes tú los puedes ver antes que lo mandes al email.
El previo, ¿no?
¿Ok? ¿Está bien?
Está bien. Ya estoy claro.
So, Eric, just a question for you. Can you show me where we've got measurements in and measurements out there? Run it with both of them. Generate the report.
See here. I don't think it'll do it on a mock-up without it being hooked to the system.
Right, so that will run a report where we can look at the measurements before and the measurements after, yeah?
Yeah, you should be able to, selecting both of those, we should have an in and out on the Pro report there.
Okay. All right. Okay, anything else?
You can do just a standard mechanical checklist only if you like.
Yeah.
And that's going to look just like this. So all that information will be on there.
Okay. Sí, pueden hacer nomás una lista de sistemas mecánicos y puedes hacer un reporte de ese sistema nomás.
Now, if we get out of this thing, oh my gosh, it's not letting me, because I'm hooked into my computer, it's not letting me use my my internet on my tablet. So what was saved here, as you can see, property 10 is saved right here. We can open that up. There's all of our information. And if we want to take a look at an old report, we can go to iManifold Report Pro, and you see on the bottom here, those are all the reports that we generated on that system. And a time and date stamps each one.
All right. Go back to the beginning so I can translate while you're going through the menu.
Okay, right here.
Okay. Ahora podemos ver un reporte viejo. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Y ahora, esta es un reporte viejo en la propiedad número 10. Go ahead and click on it. Go ahead. Next. Okay. Okay, so you go to, okay, so where did you click? Okay. Oh, okay. Entonces, lo que esto enseña es los reportes viejos. Scroll up a little bit, or generate reports. Oh.
See, this is what I clicked. I went to Report Pro.
Okay. Okay, entonces aquí puedes ver reportes viejos en este menú y puedes ver por los días. Okay. Okay.
Then we're going to select this report right here.
Vamos a selectar ese reporte. Entonces, así que si este es un reporte viejo, uno puede ver cómo estaba trabajando el sistema ese día y con este tiempo. And does it also give the ambient condition?
Yes.
Okay. Entonces, este sistema también da la temperatura de ese día también, y eso es muy importante también.
There's your outdoor air temperature right there. So the whole report's on there, and you can pull up those other reports from things that you've already done.
Okay, lovely. Okay. Anything else?
Not until you get them out in the field and get them started, and then call me from the field so we can go over some things. They might run into a little hiccup out in the field.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. The plan is, what I'm going to do, Eric, I'm going to be out in the field tomorrow.
Okay.
You said you're available tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, I've got one. Let me see what I've got tomorrow here. Hold on one sec. Just got this thing sent over to me from Bill here. Here. I've got an early morning one at 7 o'clock.
That's 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. my time, yeah, and then
Yeah, I don't have a lot of day tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a super busy day.
Okay,
So.
all right. So the plan is. Oh, go ahead.
Are you going to need me? Because I have a super busy day tomorrow. I have it's our opening day. For,
no, I don't think so, Carlos. No, not at all. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the plan is, Eric, is I'm going to go out in the field again tomorrow.
Okay.
Find one of our systems, connect all the equipment up, and I'm sure I'm going to have a few questions for you while I'm out there. We can connect via, WhatsApp video or some way of sort of communicating. I'm going to get used to sort of setting the system up again, and then on Monday and Tuesday of next week, I'm going to work with Yanni and Carlos San Juan. We'll all go out in the field together. I'm going to show those guys how to hook the equipment up, how to use the app, how to run the reports, whatever else. And then those guys, once they're comfortable with it, they're going to pair up with Santana and Rafael, 2 teams of 2, and then they'll go out in the field on the back end of next week and teach them how to use the system as well. To sort of train the trainer type.
That's a good strategy. It's very collaborative, and it's going to really help these guys, because when they teach it to someone else, that's going to help them master it. So it's going to work for everybody all around. I like the strategy.
Now, your plans. I know you mentioned that there's a slight chance, maybe a little bit of a chance, you might be down here on February.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that right now, Dave.
6th and 7th. That, I mean, obviously, we understand that you can't make it. We know it's not down here all the time, but if you can do, that would be the icing on the cake, as it were. So keep me posted on that. All right. Couple of questions for you that we had. The batteries and the probes, are they rechargeable, or are they just regular double or triple A?
The batteries and the probes are just AAA batteries. Now, there's a micro USB port on the side. Those are strictly for powering over a long period of time. Those do not charge the batteries up.
Okay, so that's in both the iConnect system and the probes, it's just standard AA or AAA?
Inside the iConnect, those are AA, and in the probes are AAA.
Okay, all right then. And one final question, the manometer. Little bit of a, manometer and total external static pressure, I think it is very new to all of us, particularly me, because I'm no AC tech. But the manometer, when we hook it up, does the blue tube go to the negative and the red go to the positive, I assume?
Yeah, that's fine. Either way, you can use it either way.
Mm-hmm. But which one goes? Does it matter? Can you put it the wrong way around, or as far as when you put it into the system?
When you plug it in, you'll see which side is going.
Say again?
When you plug those in, you can see it on your smart device. Once you plug that in, keep both tubes out of the system, and then when you attach it, you'll see which side is going. That way you can adjust it right there on the spot.
I'm not following that.
The blue or the red, when you power up the manometer,
yeah,
I would use the red for the positive, for the return side, and the blue for the supply side.
Red for the return, blue for the supply.
Yep.
Okay, and as far as connecting it to the manometer, you know, we have a positive and a negative on here somewhere, I thought I saw.
No, there's not, because it's a single sensing system. So when you actually, if you're gonna do your supply side, what you're gonna do is you're gonna unplug, you're gonna pull the tube out of your return side, and you're gonna measure your supply side. You're gonna capture it and activate it. You're gonna activate and capture it, and then once that's done, then you're gonna do the same with the other side.
Okay, I think I'll need a little bit of guidance from you on that tomorrow.
There's a video on there that we did a while back.
Is that the one with Jim Bergman?
Yeah, with Jim. Yep, Jim's on there.
We'll take a look at that then. And just from, and Carlos as well, this is a question for both of you. Our understanding of total external static pressure is the sort of, it's the loss of the velocity, the movement of the air. You know, obviously you've got maximum airflow movements coming out of the blower, and then you have, you know, the velocity or the speed of the air coming back into the motor. And the difference between those two is the total external static pressure due to things like, you know, the duct work and anything in between the air leaving the system and coming back that would cause a disruption, or, you know, a pressure against the air moving throughout the system. Is that correct?
Not my interpretation of it. There's a difference between pressure and flow. Just like your water hose, you know, you put your finger at the end of the hose. This is what I explain to my students. You put your finger at the end of the hose, and you could feel a lot of pressure. If the system has a lot of pressure, like maybe 60 psi, but when you take your finger off, it may not be a lot of flow, or there could be a lot of flow and little pressure. So they're somewhat related, but not completely related. That's my take. Eric, what's your take?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. As far as the flow and diversions, you know, static pressure, it builds up every turn that you make in a system. So when a system is rated, what was that?
Yeah, well, the highest pressure is at the outlet of the supply fan, okay? And
Right.
as it moves down the road, let's say it hits an elbow, then the pressure reduces because it just, you know, there's a large friction factor there. So the pressure gets reduced, but the flow stays the same. The airflow always stays the same unless there's an outlet. There's a supply terminal that lets air out. But even when the air is let out of that supply terminal, the pressure stays the same unless it hits another elbow, or if it moves down the road, moves down the ductwork a little bit further, and then you have more friction that's reducing the air pressure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to review that a little bit more. There's a very good video online which I might share with you guys. You can let me know what you think of it, if it's a good video. It seems pretty good to me as a layman. We'll take a look at that again and review it. So I think that's pretty much about the only part of, you know, AC fundamentals that, you know, the guys, you know, are not sort of that familiar with. So.
Oh, yes, I'm glad you brought that up, David. I'm going to send you a link. There is an air conditioning book that I have. It's in Spanish. I happen to have, I think, the 5th edition. It's not very expensive, but there's a lot of good information. I think they're up to the 6th edition. I'm going to send you a link, and you can buy it at Amazon for about $40. It's worth its weight in gold because it's a good reference material for these guys, and it does cover external static pressure and some of the things that these guys is going to just enhance their career.
Is that a book that you wrote? Or the one you
No,
use?
it's not a book. Not a book that I wrote. It's put up by Del Mar Learning, and
Okay.
I'll send you the link. You can buy it through Amazon. I think it's about $40. Don't get an earlier edition because the price, believe it or not, is much higher than the new one. And I highly recommend it. It's a lot of good information there.
Okay, lovely. All right then, we'll get 4 copies of that. Okay. Question?
Hello. Carlos.
Yes, I'm
Sí,
here.
estas sondas se pueden trabajar simultáneamente en 4, 10 y en 22.
Dígame otra vez.
Si estos manifold se pueden trabajar el mismo día, vaya, 22 y 4, 10, no hay que limpiar algo, no hay que descontaminar algo, no hay problemas que alteren los parámetros.
Okay, déjame, este manifold se puede usar con diferentes refrigerantes, pero déjame preguntar, Eric, de contaminación, de cómo, okay, Eric, he asked a question if you could use this with different refrigerants, and my answer was yes, absolutely. However, he's concerned about contamination.
No, there's not going to be enough oil inside that line to contaminate anything.
There's not going to be any oil or any residual refrigerant left over?
No, not in that little tiny hose. They're using the 6-inch jump hoses.
Okay, all right. Okay. No va a haber contaminación en el manifold. Después que, sí, cuando cambias de R22 de R410 no va a haber contaminación. Puedes hacer un purge si quieres para limpiar el sistema. What I told him, Eric, if he feels comfortable, he could do a little bit of a purge with the new refrigerant to kind of, you know, if he chooses to.
Yeah.
But not necessary.
Not necessary at all.
Okay. Okay. ¿Te contesté la pregunta?
Sí, gracias.
Okay. ¿No tienes otra pregunta?
Chicos, son nuevos, Marco.
Ya.
Una pregunta.
Ya, sí.
No.
No había ningún tipo de mantenimiento cada un tiempo, ¿no? Las sondas.
Otra vez, por favor.
Que si las sondas que van conectadas directamente a la línea de extrusión y de alta no llevan ningún mantenimiento cada un tiempo, de limpieza o algo así.
Oh, okay. So Eric, he wants to know if there's a scheduled maintenance on this manifold, or there's something that needs to be done to just keep it tip-top.
No, just, you know, keep everything clean. Don't let the sensor tips get wet. You know, but other than that, it's pretty much maintenance free. Just keeping it good and clean and dry.
Okay. No hay mantenimiento por este manifold, pero lo que Eric recomendó es mantenerlo limpio, sin agua o nada más mantenerlo limpio.
Okay, thank you.
Which part don't get wet, you said, Eric?
Actually, none of it. You don't want to get any of it wet.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, gentlemen?
No.
Anything else you want to cover, guys, before we go?
No, just when you're out there, just if you run into something, give me a call. We can go right through it real quick.
I'm sure I'll be in touch tomorrow.
You got it, sir.
Thanks, mate. Take care. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Bye.
you.
Gracias.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
What?